What's up, y'all? This is the Cliff. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about how. And I wasn't wanting when I was doing time. Like I wasn't one to really try to get over on people for real. Like I was a good businessman. Like I did, you know, um, I did business the right way. But I'll tell you one. I'll tell you something happened one time. I didn't really screw nobody. I mean, well, I don't know. Um, this was right before I went to prison, man. We were in Madison County and we had an 8-man cell and we had a good cell. Like we had like there was 3 dudes in there that I did dope with on the street, you know. So and then there was 4 more guys and they were cool. And then there was this one guy though. He was from New York, big old dude. I mean, he was like the cell, like pod boss or cell boss or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I mean, he didn't really mess with us or nothing. But like, if he wanted to, you know, do whatever, I mean, there wasn't nothing you could do with him. I mean, he was just too big and muscular. And I mean, he was 6'5", 240, with 3% body fat index. Yeah, he was. His muscles had muscles. But anyway, and he had money too, like I did. We both had money in the cell, so he was always eating good, and I was too. And so we get those guys in the cell, like I told you there was 3 other guys in there. To get them in the cell, we had to like there was a certain shift of officers that was on that's cool that would let you make bed swaps. So we went to them one night and we was like, hey, can we get so and so moved here, and can you move, like I was on a top rack and New York was on a top rack, and we got when some people left, we got moved down to those bottom racks. Well, I was always leery of the police because they'll tell you over the mic, yeah, we'll make a bed swap, and then hang up the phone and or the button, and then they won't even never touch the computer. So I mean, you figure out the shift changes and when the what shifts coming on, what days. Like you learn it to a T, man. You know when the cool shifts on and when the dick. I mean yeah, the ones that you don't like come on. And so we went that night. We asked the cool shift to do a bed swap and all that, and they said they did. But I didn't trust them, man. I thought, man, and there was this crew coming on that next day when they got off. They worked from 7 at night to 7 in the morning. So the next day there was another crew coming on that would come in at count time, and if you wasn't on that rack assigned to you, they'd make you move. So I didn't want them coming on. Like I was like, man, I'm gonna right after breakfast. Everybody goes back to sleep, sleeps till lunch, and then you get up at lunch, and then you probably go back to sleep, and then everybody stays up all night long talking and stuff. And so I knew that this shift was coming on, and that and I wanted to be sure that we got the bed swaps made before they came on. So after breakfast, I didn't want to hit the button in the room because there was 7 other dudes in there sleeping. So I got them to pop the lock, and I went out to the main button by the door, the catch out button or whatever. And I hit the button and I said, hey, before y'all leave, go off shift, I said, did y'all happen to make a bed swap for Clifton? And they was like, no, we didn't, but we'll do it right now. And I said, all right. I said, hey, what about Franklin? Oh man, anyway, um, so I asked him about the other guy. I said, so what about, did y'all change his too? And they was like, no, he's still on so and so B rack, which is a top rack. And I was like, all right. So and I couldn't tell him to change it for him. He would have to, But I just asked him if they did because I told him that we tried to get a bed change. Well, I knew this information. I knew that his bed didn't get changed and mine did. So later on that day, when everybody's up and stuff, I tell him, I say, hey man, I said, I don't think they changed your bed, down to that bottom bunk. So you might want to check on it before George Jefferson and them come on. And he said, no, man, they changed it yesterday. They told us last night they changed it. Well, I could have told him that I'd already talked to him, but I didn't. And I said, man, I'm telling you, they didn't change your bed. You need to go talk to them. And he jumps up and he says, man, I put 10 honey buns on it. I said, okay. And man, a dude on top, Moose Boy, he raised up and he said, damn, he said, y'all just bet 10 honey buns? I was like, yeah. On the 10 honey bun bet in jail is about like a $500 bet on the street. It's a big bet. Like, you don't see many people betting 10 honey buns in jail. And I bet him because I already knew, you know what I mean? And he was like, man, they changed it last night. And I was like, man, I don't think they did. He's like, well, put 10 honey buns on it then. He was trying to flex, you know. So I said, all right, I got 10 honey buns right here. And man, he went over there and hit that button. He said, yeah, what bed is so and so on? And they said, but so and so B. Man, you look, that dude's face dropped. He come over there and he gave me like 5 honey buns and a tuna pack. He was like, man, I'll have to give you something else when the store run or whatever. But yeah, I never told him that I knew, you know, and I won that bet. But yeah, I went out there early and talked to them because I knew how they was, man. They would tell you, yeah, I changed it, and then they don't. Then you end up getting a disciplinary or something for being on the wrong rack. But yeah, I went out there and asked them, and I asked them about him. And they said no, they hadn't changed his, and I was just trying to tell him, like, hint to him, like, you might want to go out there and make sure to get them to change it, you know. And he was like, man, they already done changed it. He's like, put 10 honey buns on it, dog. He's like, if you so sure, put 10 honey buns on it. I said, okay. And everybody in there was like, wow, like, man, that's a, you know, because nobody bets that in there. I mean, the high rollers might, you know, but somebody like me, you know, like I didn't bet 10 honey buns, but I knew it was a sure thing because I'd already talked to him, you know. And, but yeah, I got that. And, I never did say I never even told him I knew nothing about it. But yeah, I went out there early that morning and found out. So anyway, that's just a war story, man. Just one of the little things. Same thing. My boy David True, man. He dead and gone now. Rest his soul. We used to beef on the street and stuff over a same girl and everything. Couple girls actually. And then, you know, but like I said, man, it's weird how you beef on the street and then you get to jail and then you cool, you know, like, um, but man, one day I remember, you know, I was laying in there, I knew what charges I had, and I was asking people, what do y'all think I get, you know, and everybody had a different, oh, you gonna get 5, you gonna get, oh man, you ain't gonna get nothing but probation, you know, everybody had a different answer, you know. And I'll never forget one day they come across a button. They said, hey, Clifton, you got a lawyer visit. I was like, all right, so now we getting somewhere. We're about to find out what's going on with this case. And as I'm getting up to leave, True says, go on down there and get that 10. And everybody in the cell was like, man, shut the fuck, like, dude, don't put that on him, man. Don't talk that up like that. Man, I'll be down if I didn't go down there and Robert Tootin, lawyer, first thing he said, they offered you a 10 split one, Bubba. I said, what? 10. I was like, why they trying to give me so much time? And he was like, bro, you got a class A felony that you can't beat. Like you guilty on it. He said, and then in class A, you don't get no good time. He said so. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, all right. And I just told him to go back and give me a 10. But I went back and they was like, everybody was like, what happened? You know, what happened, Cliff? What happened? And I was like, I got a 10. And they was like, no. I said, I swear to God, I just told the man to go down there and tell the prosecutor that I'll take a 10 with good time. And they was like, damn, True, you talked that up on that man. And which I didn't get mad at him. I actually got him back on it. I was getting ready to go to prison, and in the county you could buy these shoes, and they had like Velcro over them. But still, I'm gonna tell you something. A pair of shoes in jail or prison can be a lifesaver because I'm telling you, you don't want to be out there fighting in some damn old shower slides and stuff because you will slip around and get your like. It's best to have some tennis shoes to be able to bump, or you know, if somebody jumps on you or something like that, you know. So anyway, I bought me a pair when I first got there, and then about 3 or 4 months later, I I can't even remember what they call it, where you just you don't fight the case. You just basically tell them, yeah, I did it, and send me away. And plea by man, what do they call it? Plea by information. I don't know. I just pled guilty. I didn't fight it. I didn't even try to argue with them or nothing. I just took what they offered and went and did it. And so when I got ready to go to prison, True was like, "Hey man, let me buy them shoes up," because I ordered a brand new pair to take with me to prison. Like I didn't want to have the old ones, so I bought me a brand new pair and I put them up under my rack. And then that way, when they called me to get on the train, I was gonna have some brand new shoes. So True's like, "Man, I want them shoes, man. When you go, let me buy that other pair from you." I was like, "All right." Well, man, look here. When you're in jail, like I took a shower every day, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. It is you can't go to prison or jail and not get athlete's feet. It's impossible. There's too many people in the shower. I don't care if they come in there and mop it every day with Clorox. It's just too many people, and them shower slides don't just trust me. So you buy that athlete's feet cream off the store, but it wasn't worth a damn. You know what I mean? It ain't that Tenactin or whatever, Lamisil. It ain't none of that stuff that'll work. So anyway, I was putting that stuff on, and the day it finally come, I knew I was getting ready to go, and so I gave True them shoes, and he's like, "Man, I appreciate it, dog." And I said, "You welcome." I said, "And you got that case of athlete's feet to go with it." He was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "Hey, I've been wearing them. I've been wearing them 3 months with athlete's feet in them." He's like, "What?" I said, "That's it. That's what you get for talking that 10 up on me, boy." And he was like, "Damn." He's like, "You right, Cliff." He's like, "I shouldn't." So, but anyway, it wasn't no big. Um, I hate Truth gone, man. He was a good dude, but yeah, I seen him get put to sleep one day, man. It's no lie. I tell y'all a story of it. I thought he was dead for real. So the big dude from New York that slept over here, like I said, this guy was humongous, man, muscled up. Like it wasn't nothing nobody in there could do with him. I mean, you had to like stab him or something. Like if you tried to go toe to toe, he was just too strong and big. So one day I'm sitting there and I look up and True's sitting on the edge of the bed talking trash to him, and they back and forth. And I'm thinking, True, man, like you gonna get, boy, you finna get your ass beat up. Like, man. Well, I see the big dude stand up, and I know he finna hit him. And True just keeps sitting on the edge of the bed. And I'm thinking, man, you better get up. Like, you better get up. And before I could even think it 2 or 3 times in my head, big dude fires on him. Boom, hits him, and starts hitting him a little bit. Next thing you know, man, he hooks True around the neck like this, got him in a sleeper hold. And everybody's going, like we was all looking in the cell, and everybody was like, "Keep walking, keep walking." So right before I start to go walking, dude's got him. I'm talking about he's got him good. And right before I start to burn out, True's trying to get him undone right here, and all of a sudden his arms go. And man, look here. By the time I walked and made one circle and come back through, about that time, that right as True's arms went to sleep, man, old dude just took him and bam, and his head hit the concrete first thing, and I thought he was dead. I swear. I was like, man, he just killed True. Dude, I made one more lap around the thing and come back around, and True's back on his feet talking shit to the dude. I said, True. I said, man, shut up. I said, say you finna get killed, man. Sit down somewhere, bro. And he shut up, but I was like, bro, you just almost died. I thought you was dead, bro. And you like, be quiet, man. And and it all worked itself out. But yeah, man, I come back around and he was talking trash again. I was like, dude, shut your mouth, or this dude gonna kill you in here, man. But that was we used to have some good times in there, man. We would cut up at night and shit, and just tell old jokes and laugh, and uh we knew all these same girls and stuff, and we would always talk about these girls we smashed. And you might be like, man, I used to smash this girl named so and so, and somebody will be like, I used to hit her too. Oh man, it was wild for real. Oh yeah, we used to have some good times in there. It was like me and True and Donnie and I can't remember. There was some more people in there, but yeah, man, we had a good sale. And, um, man, I thought True was dead that day. I thought the man had done busted his brains out. Man, I come back around, he was still talking noise. I said, man, shut up, Bubba. You know. But anyway, y'all, I was just wanting to just tell us some war stories. Just my my journey, man. I don't, and that's the thing, man. I think we get so focused on destinations in life that we forget that I don't even think it's about the destination, bro. I think it's about the journey, for real. I don't. I mean, seriously, I don't. I think it's about the journey, not the destination. You know, like everybody's focused on the destination, and but you forget to stop and look at things on your journey. You know. So, well, all right, y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. I, man, I'm fixing to try to. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I'm fixing to try to start getting in touch with some inmates and getting them to call me and and call in and do some live shows or or even record it and then post it. But I got a couple that I want to that I'm thinking about seeing if they'll. I'm just gonna write them a letter and say, hey man, look here, I'll put some money on the phones. I'll pay for the phone calls. You just call me, and then I'll throw a little money on your books and stuff, and I'm sure there'll be some that'll run game. Oh, you want to give me $500? No, I'll do you something, but I ain't gonna do all that. But yeah, I'm talking about people across, not only Alabama inmates. I'm talking about some high profile people. I'm just gonna write them a letter and ask them, hey man, look, I'm trying to get my channel going. Will you call in and let me do an interview with you? Write me back and tell me what questions I can ask and what I can't. Tell me what's off limits and what and and see how that goes. So that's my plan, and how well it works, I don't know. I'm just gonna try it. But I think that would be cool, man, to have some real high profile people call in if I can get them. I may not be able to pull it over, but I think if I can ever get them on the phone, like say, hey, look here, just call me up and talk to me for a minute. I think if I can ever get them on the phone and get to rapping, I think I can get them, to call because uh, for some reason I was born with the gift of gab. We all got something that we're good at, and my mouthpiece, I've always been able to, be good with it. And so, but yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna just gonna. I've already sent out 2 letters, and I'm gonna keep sending them out. I just look up cases and stuff, and I'm gonna try to find some people that's actually, possibly innocent, and let them call in and tell how the system's done them, and things like that. Man, y'all be amazed at how some people get done in the courts. Like, some people, especially people that don't have family and stuff. Man, they'll hide you. They'll put you in there and give you a 30-year sentence and not even check up. Never even worry about you again. For real. But if you got people calling down there all the time, wanting to know, raising hell and stuff, that's how you get something done. But man, for the people that don't have anything, I feel bad for them. So, but all right, y'all. Y'all be good.